A horse is a horse, of course, except when that horse is drunk. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my first impression reaction to Bojack Horseman. This is a series I have wanted to check out for quite a long time because it gets rave reviews. It is seen as one of the best adult cartoons out there. And I know actually a good amount of stuff about it. I don't know like plot related stuff or a lot of like big things like that, but I do know like the general plot of it, just without all the details and how the series goes and all. Um so what I know about this, I know it stars the titular character of Bojack Horseman. This is a world where there's regular people and there's animal people. I don't know if that's ever addressed, but it's just a world where anthropomorphic animal people exist. And Bojack Horseman is a former sitcom actor who has gone bad. And by gone bad, I mean he's become a drunk. I think he might be involved with drugs as well. He's made a mess of his life and the lives of others around him. And he's just not in a very good way. I believe he's also dealing with depression and mental health issues such as that. And excuse me, the series is at least partially about him actually working to better himself, failing at times, but actually giving the effort to become a better person. um I also know that this series touches on a lot of like notable topics such as queer characters and mental health being a big one and stuff like that. And I think that a lot of people have said it's actually really good about that stuff. It handles it in a very mature, like, believable way. And I don't know like everyone who's in this, but I believe Bojack is voiced by Will Arnett. And I believe, and I might be wrong about this, but I believe that I want to say his name is Todd, the blue-haired guy, actual human and everything. Isn't he voiced by oh my god, what is his name? I had his name in my head and now I've forgotten it. The actor who plays Jesse Pinkman in Breaking Bad. He was also in Black Mirror and the Need for Speed movie, I believe, as well. Um, but isn't he Todd in this? Um, I think so. I think I heard that. I don't know who else is in this in terms of voice acting. Um, but I've heard this compared to like the good adult animations, stuff more in the lines of Futurama rather than stuff like Family Guy or Rick and Morty. It's the more mature adult animation kind of thing that actually tackles these subjects with, maturity. It treats it as, an adult issue and takes itself seriously while still obviously injecting comedy. And my camera died. I was hoping we were beyond that kind of issue, but I guess not. Give me just a second here to fix this. I don't even know how long it's been dead, but hopefully not too long. Okay, and we are back. Sorry about that. Hopefully we don't have that issue again. But like I was saying, it's like I've heard that this show like actually goes into mature topics and deals with things in a actual adult way. You see a lot of these shows out there that just try to be adult with crude humor and crass jokes and everything, and it's just like that's not adult. That's more childish than a lot of the children's stuff, and it's not good. Um so I think it's better to just to just actually have it like touch on this stuff maturely. But you can still have like swearing and crude jokes and everything. You just have to know how to put them in there. Futurama does this well. Hell of a Boss and Has Been Hotel do this well, blending that all together. And I think that a lot of those adult animated series out there, from Family Guy to American Dad to pretty much any Adult Swim original series, all of them are pretty terrible. Or Fox adult animated series, those are terrible too. Anything that basically just tries to too hard to be edgy rather than, actually adult is not great by any means. And that's why I don't watch most of them. But yeah, I've heard good things about this, and I'm excited to see. By the way, Aaron Paul is Jesse Pinkman's actor. I remembered. I'm hoping for good stuff with this, with all I've heard. We'll see how it goes from this first episode, at least. And I don't necessarily expect this to be the best of the series, but as a first episode, it does have to hook me in to a degree. Now, before we continue, I do want to real quick mention that we have a plethora of awesome reactions to check out on this channel. Every Monday through Friday, we have just a bunch of great series reactions you can check out. And on Mondays, we also do YouTube or YouTube adjacent reactions. Anything that doesn't fit into a full series or a movie reaction. Excuse me. And speaking of movie reactions, we have those every Saturday and Sunday. They're recorded earlier in the week, but I upload them on the weekends so that every day has something going on for it. We're also currently going through 2 different Let's Plays on the channel. Every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, we're playing through Spider-Man 2. Really been enjoying that. If you're new to checking it out, just as a note for you, the first 9 parts do have some audio issues, especially parts 5 through 9. But starting with part 10, all those audio issues are resolved, and we're good to go. I'm also doing a donation reward Let's Play of Anno Mutationum on Saturdays. And that is a reward for Matthew Vasquez. So, yeah. Thank you to Matthew for donating. If you wish to know how to donate for a Let's Play, just check out, basically search up any videos on the channel that say like PS5 reward month, PS5 game reward months. Those will tell you exactly what you need to do. Or you could just contact me via the comments below or on the Discord server. Either way, always willing to explain things if I need to. But all of that being said, let's just get on with the reaction and hope for the best. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction because yes, we do redirect all of our reactions here on the channel. You know how YouTube's copyright system is. It's shit, let's be honest. So because of that, just to be safe, just to keep the channel safe, I've decided to just push everything off to another website. I know it sucks, but what are you gonna do? I want to avoid getting any possible channel strikes, or even worse, getting the channel terminated. I've dealt with that before, don't want to deal with it again. It's a terrible time for everyone. So, like I said, just to remain safe, we're just moving things to another channel. All you have to do is go down to the description, click the link. It's super simple. I know you'd rather watch it here. You don't have to follow another link, but again, just to remain safe, it's the best way to do it. And on the plus side, that means all of you, yes, every single one of you gets to see the full unedited reaction completely free. There's no paywalls, no Patreon. You don't even have to sync up your own copy. All you do, like I said, is go to the description below, click the link, follow it to the page, and you're good to go. I think that's pretty neat, just getting that for completely free. So, yeah, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in three, two, one, now. So I'm looking this up here. Allison Brie is Diane, so that I was right about, and Aaron Paul is Todd. Um, Trying to see here though. Yeah, that we know that was Patton Oswalt. Okay, Kristen Shaw was Sarah. I'm not sure who that is offhand. But J.K. Simmons, I was wondering about that. He was apparently that Lenny Turtletop guy who was in the restaurant, who had like one line of dialogue, and it was super brief. So I wouldn't have guessed that by any means. Princess Carolyn though was Amy Sedaris, so there's that as well. So a lot of names that I know in this, a lot of pretty big names, and considering the series is like 6 seasons, it's like they really got a good cast for this. So let's talk about this. What did I think of this first episode? This was actually really good. Like, I have no real complaints here. It's like it's pretty much what I expected in terms of tone, consistency, themes, and everything. Like I said in the pre-thoughts, I knew the general gist of what this series is about because how couldn't I? Bojack Horseman has been like this big series in pop culture, and the fact that I'm online quite often kind of means that I've heard about this series. Um, and so it's like, yeah, I understood the basic gist of it, and you definitely get in this first episode everything you need to know about how he's obsessed with his past fame, refusing to let it go and move on, how he's a complete mess of a person who doesn't know how to treat others or himself. And he's just got a lot of issues that he has to work through. And he doesn't seem like he's necessarily like a bad guy or anything. He's just, fucked up. And there are people like that. It's like, oh, they're not bad people, but I can understand why someone would want to like get out of that situation and not, either in some cases date them, in some cases be their friends anymore, or just be around them even. Because especially when they kind of refuse to get the help they need, it's even if they're not a bad person, it's just hard to be around them. It's hard to like watch someone, especially if you do care about them, kind of self-destructing in that way. And I've known people like this. I've known people who are just genuinely hard to be around. Not because they're bad people or have like bad thoughts or opinions or anything, but because they're just so down on themselves and so like self-destructive and whatnot that it kind of like just is. I don't know how else to put it besides it's just hard to be in their vicinity because it kind of brings down your mental health and your just emotional state as well. It's something that because of especially having plenty of mental health issues myself, I have a very hard time being around people like that. I just do. And again, it has nothing to do with my feelings towards them or anything like that. I don't hate them or dislike them. It's just I have a very hard time with it because it affects my mental health in a way that really, brings me to a bad place. And I've been like in situations where it's really fucked me up for a good while. And I don't like being in that kind of situation. And this goes for anyone who is ever in that kind of situation. If you're ever in a situation where someone's the way, just the way that they are, the way they treat themselves or others, even again if they're not a bad person, if they're in that situation and it makes you feel like genuinely bad to the point where it's like really negatively affecting your mental health, you have a right to get out of that situation. Don't feel the need to stay there to try and help them and everything if it's really causing you this much pain yourself. Just Just remember that. Um, let's talk about some of the other characters, though. Princess is an interesting character so far because it's clear that she has, I mean, on top of being Bojack's manager, she has like this on again off again relationship. Like we see them break up, but then we find out later that they had sex again, and she's just in his house making breakfast and everything. So it's like it seems like it's this thing that like she can't really stay away for one reason or another. I don't know if it's like saying like he's just that good at sex. Maybe he is. I don't know. Um, or if it's just maybe she does genuinely love him and wants to keep giving him chances because of that. Because that's a very real thing. It's not exactly healthy, but it's real. We have Mr. Peanut Butter in this, and he's probably my least favorite character right now. I don't know what the consensus on him is, and mind you, this is only based off the first episode, because I haven't seen much of anything else outside of some random clips here and there that I don't even remember. Just based off this episode, though, I don't like him. He seems like one of those people, like, again, that I've known in real life, who are just like way too much. Like they're just way too much, way too quickly, and it's something I can't handle. I've legitimately known people like this who have this almost toxic positivity where it's like they're not bad people or anything, but they're so like excessively positive and happy and polite that it kind of comes across as creepy. And again, as someone with mental issues, it overloads me. It's one of those rare occasions actually where I feel overstimulated. That's actually not. A lot of autistic people go through that kind of issue, being overstimulated at certain things. I don't face that a lot. That's actually something I'm very thankful for. That I don't have a like being in large crowds, for example, is a very easy trigger for a lot of people with autism. It can overstimulate them just having that many people around, especially talking. Um, Going to conventions would be a very big issue for a lot of autistic people, but I'm thankfully not one of those kind of autistic people. My autism presents itself in other ways, but I'm actually fine with crowds. I'm fine with a lot of loud noise and stuff. That kind of stuff doesn't overstimulate me. But people can overstimulate me. That's where it really affects me. And people like Mr. Peanut Butter here are exactly the kind of people who I have faced the most issue with in that regard. And again, it's nothing against them because they're not bad people. It's just so much to handle. It's so actively like almost painful in a way to me because it makes things like so just uncomfortable to such a degree that I'm not in a good place mentally and emotionally afterwards. And it's something I just can't handle. Again, it's nothing against the people themselves. It's a personality type that just doesn't mesh well with me. Um so he is definitely my least favorite. Again, not out of anything like negative or bad that he's done, just because I can't handle that type of person. Diane seems super nice though, and I like how like kind of awkward and shy she is. I tend to like those kind of characters, to be fair. But she's also just super nice and friendly and cutesy and everything. Um, I'm not like disgusted like Bojack was by the fact that she's with Mr. Peanut Butter. It's like I don't care. It's like again, I have nothing against him in that way. He's fine. He's nice. So it's like I don't really care. It's just more like again, I could never be with someone like that just because of my own issues. But yeah, she seems nice, and it's gonna be interesting to see how she works with Bojack writing this autobiography, memoir is, I think, the right word. Aaron Paul's character Todd, very different than how he is in Breaking Bad or Black Mirror. Because in Black Mirror, he's a very serious character. He's very serious. He's very like intense. And in Breaking Bad, I mean, as Jesse, he does have a lot of humor to him. He's a bit of a goofball at times, but he's also an extremely tragic character, and he's very, again, intense. And it's a very different character than you're seeing here, because this obviously goes more into the sitcom-y, comical side and everything. And although there is kind of the connection to be made with like the cartel and everything, and him being like tied up and all of that shiz, it's just like he's still a very different character. He's a lot more chill. He's a lot more like cool and everything. Like even his performance, it's like I'm listening to him at first. It's like I could tell that's him, but he sounds so different in the way he's performing it. We have Patton Oswalt playing the head of the publishing company, and I mean he's a nervous, antsy penguin character. There's not too much more to him from what we can see. I've seen Patton Oswalt play characters like this. It's not like out of his wheelhouse at all. Nothing special, but nothing like bad or anything either. It's like I don't think he's meant to be like a major character though, to be fair. So he's just kind of there, honestly. And the humor in this is good. It's nothing again to write home about, but it's good. There's definitely like kind of the draw of this being about this self-destructive guy, and you're wanting to see him get better because you can see the appeal in him and you can see the tragedy in him, and it's like you want him to get better, and that's kind of what keeps you watching. I feel, again, just based off my experience with this first episode, that's what you want to see, and you're hoping that he works at doing this, and you know he's going to fall and you know he's going to fail, but you want to see him improve and make a better life for himself. And I'm hoping that these others around him are going to help him do that. People like Todd and Diane and even Mr. Peanut Butter. Like, he has the support system ready for him. He's just not really acknowledging or accepting it yet. And that's, I feel like a lot of people would find that really hard to deal with themselves, like just being around someone who's like so ready to find help but refusing to, get it. I can see how people would have trouble with that, and I would probably have trouble with it too. But I've also been there. I've been the stubborn asshole who's refused help. I have a hard time asking for help a lot of the times. It's something that is really not easy for me because I don't feel like I deserve it most of the time. And so it's like, if I don't feel like I deserve it, why would I ask for it? And obviously I'm not in the kind of situation he is or anything, but you get the gist still. I mean, like, I've never even been drunk. So I'm definitely not in the same situation he is. I've also never been famous, which is probably a good thing because I don't think I would handle it well. Plus, also, I just don't really want to be famous. But yeah, this was a genuinely good start. It genuinely felt like they understood what they wanted to say with this and actually understood how to do it. It felt like there was actual effort put forward to making this come across as not just realistic, but respectful about these kinds of issues. Like you see in this episode, Bojack suffers two separate anxiety attacks. And the only person in this, including like the people who made this, who tries to make a joke out of it is Bojack himself. He is the only one who sees it as fuel for a joke. Everyone else takes it seriously. And I actually really love that. Because anxiety attacks are a very serious thing as someone who's suffered them. And they're not always to a degree where you would need to be taken to a hospital. A lot of times you can like get yourself through them or just, ride it out and let it happen. But there are those occasions where it might be a lot more extreme. And even then, the point is, it's like it's handled in a way. It's like, again, everyone's taking it seriously except Bojack because he just doesn't take shit seriously. He's the only one who makes a joke out of it. And when he does, everyone just stares at him. Not even judgingly, but they're just like almost disappointed that that's how he's handling things. And in fact, I think that is what it's supposed to be. Disappointment. Like they're seeing this guy who's like making light of a real serious thing. And they're just like, why do you do this to yourself? And so, yeah, I think it's pretty clear that not only did I enjoy this, but I find a lot of just respectfulness in how it's made. And I do want to see where it goes. I very much want to see where this series goes because this was actually a lot better than I expected. I didn't go into this expecting to hate it or anything. I went into it kind of like just expecting to be maybe middle of the road with it. But there's a lot about it that actually impressed me in how it was written and paced even. The pacing never felt like bad. It's like it went by pretty quick, but because I was enjoying it so much. It wasn't like too fastly paced or anything. I liked the score. Like it felt like it was just doing right with the music and everything. And the voice actors, all good actors. It's like I have no issue with any of them. Like I may not like everything they've been in. Like I don't like everything Will Arnett's done by any means. But I have nothing against him. Him or his clone, Patrick Wilson. I had to. But yeah, it's like, he's fine in this. In fact, he's good in this. He does a great job at expressing what he needs to express here. I also like that it's intercut with those scenes from the show. Because, again, it shows how obsessed he is with his past. How, like, he's still trying to live out the glory days when he was, like, this big deal. Because it's all he knows and the only thing that makes him happy. Like, he absolutely understands that that's well behind him and that's not realistic to stay stuck in that time. But it's, again, it's the only thing that makes him happy. It's the only thing that, like, is a bright spot in his life. So he uses it as a crutch. He holds on to it because he needs that emotionally. He obsesses over it in a very realistic and very unhealthy way. Yeah, I think I very much see the value in this, and I very much see why this was such a big show, why this became so popular. I'm definitely going to continue reacting to it. That's, like, just blatantly obvious. And I hope it continues to be as good as it was here. It's just going to be added to my list at this point. I'll get to it when a spot opens up and when I feel like I'm ready to get to it. That's if you don't know, if you're newer to the channel, that's how first impressions reactions work. I check out the first episode, I see what it's like, and I determine whether or not I'm going to continue reacting, watch it on my own time, or drop it. I'm choosing to continue reacting to it, but that means it gets added to the list of other first impressions reactions that I've done. And I don't necessarily get back to them in order. It's just a matter of, what am I in the mood to get to right now? Let me check the list. Sometimes I'll get back to certain shows quicker. Sometimes it takes a long time. There's still a lot of shows that I've done first impressions for that I just have not gotten back to because I've not been in the mood to get to them again yet. I've not been ready for that kind of show at any given point. And it's just, that can happen. But it's like they remain on the list. So, hey. That being said, tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this first episode of Bojack Horseman? And obviously, especially if you've seen the entire series, no spoilers. I don't want to know any spoilers for this because, like I said, I'm going to continue reacting to it in the future. That being said, just as a reminder before we finish this out, we do have a lot of other great content to check out on the channel. Every Monday through Friday, we have a plethora of awesome series reactions. And on Mondays, we also do YouTube or YouTube adjacent reactions. Basically anything that doesn't quite fit in to the regular mold of a full series reaction or a movie one. And with movie reactions, we also do 2 of those each week on Saturdays and Sundays. And those are recorded earlier in the week, but uploaded on the weekends so that every day has something going on for it. We are also currently going through 2 different Let's Plays. We're doing Spider-Man 2 on every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Sometimes we might put it on another day as well. That's happened already, just in case I want to get to something or whatnot. Or there's some issues that come up. Sometimes I'll pop up an extra one, you know. But just as a note, if you're going to be newly checking the series out, the first 9 parts of the Let's Play do have some audio issues, especially parts 5 through 9. But once you get to part 10, all of that is fixed and handled. Should be no more audio issues moving forward. We're also playing through Anno Mutationum every Saturday. This is a reward Let's Play for Matthew Vasquez. And if you want to know how to donate for a reward Let's Play and how all of that works, check out the videos on the channel that are labeled as PS5 Game Reward Months. There's a couple of them. You should be able to search just PS5 on the channel and find it with ease. Both of those videos will tell you exactly how to donate for a Let's Play and what all of that entails. So, yeah, if you have any questions or want to clarify things with me, though, you can reach out to me in the comments or on the Discord server, which is, as always, linked in the description. But, all of that being said, once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see... I was about to do the wrong thing. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.